Same story. Today you say, today you're here. If there is no love in your heart, then there'll never be hope for you. I'm singing Tomorrow's People. Tomorrow people, where is your past? Tomorrow people, how long will you last? Yeah, yeah. Tomorrow people, you don't know your past, you won't know your future. All right, I think I'm ready to come up. I'm on time today, brother. What's up? I ain't black today. Know what time it is. No CPT time. All right. Good morning. Good morning. See, some people are here. I'm still singing Tomorrow People. Why? Because if you don't know your past, you won't know your future. If you don't know your past, they'll control your future. About this, a few months ago. Let me turn Bob Marley. Oh, that's Ziggy Marley. That's his son. Turn him on. Tomorrow's people. I always think about tomorrow. Today ain't as important as tomorrow. Think about tomorrow. The people of tomorrow. They're called your kids. I don't know if Ty's here yet. It's too early. Ty here yet. Always think of tomorrow's people first. What's behind me, Justin? I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Somebody else probably already knows, but asteroids don't make concentric circles. They don't make concentric rings equaling what Solon told the Egyptian priest told Solon that Solon told Plato that Plato tried to tell everybody else, and everybody else was like, nope, it's just rocks, it's asteroids and geology. If we don't know our past, we will not know our future. That's a guarantee, which is why I try to tell everybody remain calm and focus on ancient archaeology. Where you come from. If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going, because the people who know where you came from, they control where you're going. And that's why they created all the subhuman groupings. Oh, there goes Susan. Susan ain't here to play. She told you right off what that is. It is, what a YouTuber, which is why I appreciate YouTube. I appreciate the social medias. They allow for independent critical thought. They allow for alt voices, which is very important. You need alternative everything. They told you alternative is racist, and that's keyword for you need to focus on this thing because this thing is important. You know, when you can't look at a problem from all angles, you can't look at an issue from all angles, you're not actually trying to solve a problem. That's why the mass media is there. They're not trying to solve a problem. They have preconceived project plans that they want to roll out. And that's why they don't look at things universally, and they avoid the alts, right? The alts, they don't allow for profit. They don't allow for as much profit. They come up with these preconceived plans they want to roll out, and then they create a problem where they limit the details so they can drive where the solution can go. So everything is important. Stop attacking the alt media, alt this, alt climate change, alt prison industrial complex, alt everything. Oh, look at that, Leanne beamed down to us. Dang, Leanne came down from the spaceship. Welcome, Leanne. All right, let me get my stuff. I shared it. I got that working. Looks like we might actually be working today, people. We might be cooking with some gas today. Cooking with, did I say gas? I'm sorry, cooking with hemp fuel. How's everybody doing? Today is Friday. Freedom Friday! Or is it a Flippin' Friday? What are we doing today? All right. I don't really have much to talk about. I'm gonna look at your comments, which I want to talk about. If not, we'll go into the default fantasy world and make some jokes. Do you just sit here and make jokes about the news? Yeah, I do. Do you take the news seriously? How old are you? Everything is a controlled argument, and that's what the whole mass media is for. They already have a business plan. They have a nation they need to invade. They just need to control the discussion to give people an excuse. But they hide the past. They hide the past from all of us. As long as we trust the news, then we're easily controllable. Like I was thinking about the subhumans. We talked about the subhumans yesterday. I kind of got in trouble a little bit. I know I'm in trouble because my inbox starts going off like bling, 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 bling. And people are upset with something I said. That's okay. I gotta post something. Hold on. only threat to Earth's enslaving debt economic models are humans. That's the only threat. Its scarcity fuels all subhuman groupings, thus pose no threat. Absolutely, absolutely. I was thinking about that this morning. What about it? Put an S on there. Oh, dang it. I ran out of characters. Oh, dang it, I'm out of character. This is what I'm saying. This is why I attack grammar. I don't like your King's English, because social media limits you to only so many characters. So it sounds like I'm half retarded when I post that. I'm trying to limit the characters, people. Let me read that again. Only threat to Earth's enslaving debt economic models are humans. Scarcity fuels all subhuman groups. Thus pose it no threat. Pose it no threat. All right, is everything spelled right? I don't have time. I got people here, so I can't make sure I spell it right. But y'all just have to give me on spelling. I suck at spelling. I have no disillusions that I can spell, and my kids tell me all the time. All right, I posted that. Oh, right, no, the subhuman groupings, right? Because we like supremacy. That's the thing. That's the thing. If you don't know your past, you don't know your future. If you don't know your past, they're going to control your future. Why did they create supremacy? Why did they create group supremacy? I don't know nobody come in here and start talking about no daggone race supremacy. All kinds of supremacies. You had strong supremacy, you had gender supremacy, you had, the stupid most latest, the whole racial supremacy thing. You got nation supremacy, you got all kinds of supremacies. Why? Because if you can convince, how do you get humans to turn on each other? How do you get the dumb monkeys and the peasants and your serfs to turn on their neighbors down in the next town? You got to convince them that they're better. You tell them that they're better. You convince them that they're better. You break the human model. They're not humans anymore. You make them subhumans. You make their subhumans here, their subhumans here. You get your subhumans to fight those subhumans, and you create a group for them, create a race, religion, whatever you need to. And they're all subhumans to you, to the kings. That's why the kings created supremacy. Because you can't get family to fight family. You can't get cousins to invade cousins, but you damn sure if you convince them they're better than the others. And that's how supremacy works. That's how the Democrats and Republicans work. They got Democrat supremacy, Republican supremacy. They don't like it when I say that, but that's true. It's true. Why do you think they're mudslinging now? All this deplorable stuff and all this nonsense. All right, there we go. Where are my angry faces? Oh, there we go. All right, I see no angry faces. But y'all know every damn thing there. Ain't nobody getting upset no more. Everybody's laughing. See, when there's no angry faces, then that means we're done. We can all go home. We don't have to do this no more. It means everybody gets it, and they and we're back to being one human race, and the whole debt economic global systems collapse. The only supremacy you need to focus on, there's only one supremacy that matters. Only one. It's called robot supremacy. And all the people yelling and screaming white supremacy and black supremacy, they got this black supremacy right there. The only ones, because they yell about it because they want you to focus on race supremacy, why they're the ones giving the robots to the corporations, right? And then robot supremacy is going to come in. Once you got that robot supremacy, you all going to die together. So you get it's a great scam. It's a great scam. All the supremacies are distractions. The only supremacy really that matters is robot supremacy. Automation supremacy. Whoever has that has everything. Because why would the kings create the subhuman groupings? Hold on, let me flip the music. Why would the king create the subhuman groupings, right? Human labor. He needed some slaves, right? Told you that you were better, but he was just using you for a slave to go kill and murder somebody else and have your kids die trying to kill and murder somebody else and steal what they got. Steal their corn and rice. But you're a slave to them. That's the only way you can give someone a free sentient creature to give up its freedom and live for the king, live for the queen, is you give it subhuman supremacy. And you get it off to go fight somebody else to rob and steal their cousin from their cousins. That's how they do it. It's all about control. And you don't actually need humans when you have robots. You don't need them. That's all they want is robot supremacy. That's all they've been working on the whole time, is getting the dummies fighting each other over silly stuff. And this is why ancient archaeology is so important. This is why looking back and discovering yourself is so damn important. We come from great people. So this is the Richard structure. This was a brother on YouTube, Bright Insight. Jimmy posted a video on this, man. He's becoming world famous now. I remember when he first did his video about the Richard structure. Richat, am I saying it right, Susan? Richat structure. When he first posted it, you only found, I think I found like 10, 15 pictures of the Richard structure. Now I did a search this morning, you got hundreds. People are focusing on it now. That's the importance of alt. The very important purpose of alt. because all the discussions are controlled and guided. Oh, by the way, I'm going to thank whoever's controlling the weather machine for the clouds, that satellite that LBJ told you about. Thank you. Thank you, weather people. Thank you. Not the weatherman, the weather people, the ones that got power over the presidents, the ones the presidents don't have phone numbers to. Thank you, because the drought in Pennsylvania has come to an end. Whew, it rained for almost 14 hours last night. We're finally getting the rain that we need here because they were using that satellite that LBJ told you about for the cloud cover somewhere else for economic reasons. He told, when two sitting presidents tell you you're going to change the climate, don't go off and debate climate change. Please don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. If you don't know your past, you won't know your future. If you don't know what LBJ and JFK said in the past about climate change, please be quiet. All right. Climate change is now a discussion all about how to make changing weather profitable. That's the only discussion that's happening. Not shut the damn machine off. Turn the satellite off. Somebody shut it down. Stop controlling the cloud cover. All right, there we go. I'm gonna look at some comments and we'll see where we go from there. Good morning, everybody. Whew. All right, how's everybody doing this Friday? It's freezing here. I'm in front of the fireplace now. So nice. Yeah, Megs, it's weird stuff. It's weird stuff because like now it's getting down into the 40s in Pennsylvania. We finally got a little bit of rain, and in California. Wait a minute, like California? No. Well, now it's getting down in the 40s. It was 90 here like 2 days ago. It's going to be 40 tonight. And in California, it's like 60. Certain parts, it's like the weather makes no sense. When the weather makes no sense, just ask who is playing with the satellites that the president told you about. Cannot watch here or on YouTube. Whoa, YouTube won't play neither. Teresa, try to reboot, sister. Try to reboot. I mean Noah drinking it. Daniel, what is Noah drinking? And Noah's for real, y'all. Floods always came. This is one the Egyptians explained to you. We had those earth-wide floods. The Egyptians said it. Noah said it. What's the name? Start with an M. Yeah, oh no, Gilgamesh. Start with a G. Gilgamesh said it. Cultures all over this planet explained that you had floods and firestorms all over this planet. This is why we don't have a lot of time to play. If you don't know your past, you don't know your future. It's just not about the elites controlling you, put you in little dumb, silly groups, subhuman groups. But it's also about if something's always coming to kill us, if we don't focus on that, it's eventually going to kill us. If it's always been killing us, and the kings and queens back then, they created temples to let us know that something's coming to kill us, you should focus on that. Otherwise, it's going to come kill you again. Seems like it's only rains 4 times a year now with season change. Yeah, Jack, because it's a conflict over weather. That's why I think, Jack, like the world's conflicts they're always sub-conflicts. They're like sub-discussions of what they're doing in the rumors of wars, the quiet wars that they don't really talk about, the water wars. Tennessee weather sucks, it's supposed to. But the problem is it's killing off perennials. As it kills off perennials, then we got problems. Although trees will adapt, nature will figure it out. They just might figure it out a million years after we're gone. We should not be playing with the weather. We're not smart enough to have HARP ships, and we're not smart enough to have weather satellites changing cloud cover. We're not smart enough. We don't even know what water is yet. Still trying to figure out what water is. There's a species that doesn't know what water is, can't figure it out even at the atomic level, let alone the quantum level, should not be playing with the big white puffy things that drop water out the sky, because we have no idea what it is. But you're like, what are we like? 98% water, something like that. That's kind of weird. Aren't we 98% monkeys too? Like 98% water. Everything on this planet is made of water. When we go in space, we're looking for things that are made of water, because all water is behind life. We don't know what water is. Leave the damn water alone in the clouds. Leave it alone. All right, let me get down. Let me see. I don't know if we're going to talk about that. We can go to the news if you want. I'm just saying, look back to the past. If you don't know the past, you have no sense of self, then you can pretty much hang up the future. You're being controlled and guided. It meets the requirements and descriptions of Atlantis, the size of the circle surrounded by salt water and fresh water. In the center, the Atlas Mountains to the north. And the first king of Atlantis was named Atlas. Exactly, Susan, and I agree with you. This was Atlantis. It was Atlantis. Now, is it the only Atlantis? Well, no, because we know they had multiple sites. So there were multiple places all over this planet they talked about. The Aztecs talked about Atlantis. The Mayans talked about Atlantis. And after it was destroyed, the people spread to different continents and they set up civilizations. And there were a lot of these ancient structures that came from that nobody has any idea who built it or how they built it. Okay? Asteroids, when they hit, they don't make concentric ring upon ring upon ring upon ring upon ring. All right, and the other explanation is geological. It's geological, and the land keep lifting up and falling down and lifting up and falling down. I'm like, man, who the hell y'all work for? How dumb do you think people are? You don't see anything like this anywhere else around the world, besides the fact it doesn't really matter if it was created geologically. It doesn't really matter if it was created by comets. Plato, Solon, and the Egyptian priests told you that an advanced civilization lived in these concentric rings. The measurements add up. If they add up, that's damn Atlantis. It's not a coincidence. Thank you. Listen to Susan. Susan, post the video. I know you got the video, but you can go follow Bright Insight. That's why it's important to follow alt. Important to follow alt. You got to follow alternative everything. Everything. Anytime somebody labels something racist, you need to go listen to it. Anytime they call them dumb hicks, go listen to them. Any say it's poor black people with Zika in the ghetto, go talk to them. That's how you fix things. You fix things with alt. Alternative. Other than that, they're just trying to drive your solution to where their solution already is because they got money to make. You are a ball of extreme energy. Yes, Justice, we are. We're energy. We don't know what humans are. Stop killing them, please. We have no idea who's sending them here or what they are. You don't die. Okay, stop being scared to die. You don't die. Nothing dies. Everything's a cycle. You just flip dimensions. But while you're here, we need you to be useful. So stop being a subhuman. You just need to be a human, a ball of energy and light inside a 98% monkey body. Just don't sniff anybody's anus unless that's your thing. If that's your thing, go do that. Just don't post it on the internet because we don't want to see that, nor do we want to smell that. All right, I want to know about the weather. If you want to know about the weather, ask a roofer. Yes, Jack. Ask the roofers, ask a gardener, ask a farmer. Is the weather changing? Hell yes, the weather's changing. So nobody, sometimes they're like, oh, you don't believe in climate change. No, I just don't believe in your government's idea of climate change because they don't have access to the technologies that are changing the climates, right? So I don't get off on the climate. I know that the weather's changing. I know that I've been watering pots like you wouldn't believe, and it's never been this damn dry before. I know that the last, 3 years, we've had what's called a drought-induced fall here, where it becomes fall too early because somebody stole the rain, and I don't know who's in this jet path. Probably Texas. Anybody here from Texas? Y'all steal the weather? They stole the clouds. They want more water down there. I think it's Texas, right? It can't stop raining there. You think magically and delicious like Lucky Charms, it just starts raining in Texas, and it's cold in California, and it's hot in Pennsylvania? You think that these things just happen? People blame the weather. One side blames nature, the other side blames nature. Listen, dummy, to your presidents. They told you this was going to happen. Now take the next step. There can't be any secrets in government or systems anymore. There's too many kids that live on this planet. Can't be any more secrets. Oh, Brother Sean is in the house. Good morning, Sean. Let me see. Hey, it's Mars CGI. No, it's not Mars CGI. Rob, Sean, that's a Richard structure. Let me see. Let's get down. See if y'all got some comments or we're going to move on. And see what the media thinks is important. We've been told no more hurricanes this season. Raytheon scripts is what we hear from weather forecasters. I believe that too. Rebecca. I think I blame everything on the people who touched the weather last. Absolutely. The Borg is strong this morning. Keep buffering. Oh, we're buffering? Okay, I didn't know what was going on. But that's what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. You gotta buffer anything that's not a subhuman. Subhumans are okay. Subhumans, they fulfill their role being black and white and Christian and Muslim, American. Like, I was thinking about the education system this morning too. It's like, if you live in a nation, a human nation, that's designed for freedom, and all the agencies that are sworn to protect and defend your freedom are the ones that show up to your door and put you in cages or kill you, or anybody who exercises that freedom peacefully, you don't have a government. You're being ruled. You're not being governed. You're being dominated by tyrants. Those agencies aren't for you. Let's think about the education system. If you live in a human nation with an education system, it'll be cranking out humans, not subhumans. It won't be cranking out nationalists and reinforcing these ideas of race and ethnicity and division and politics and all of the nonsensical crap that these kids come out believing. It would create humans if you had an education system that was universal, educating, not indoctrinating, not driving, you wouldn't crank out anything other than a human, right? If everything was allowed in the education system, like alt information, alternative ideas, all theories, so the kids can form their own opinions instead of you having a predetermined solution at the end of the problem, because this fits that analogy too, right? If you have like this whole control of information, you have these children things, and you want to make them into what you want to make them into, which is slaves, subhumans, then it means that you have to control the information that they get, because your predetermined solution is to have a slave. So it means all throughout the education system, you have to reinforce it with the pledges and flags and checking boxes and teaching them that race is real and ethnicity is real. And all of it is a fallacy. All of it's a fallacy. All of it was designed to create different subhuman groups, to create supremacies to control people. All of it, all the way going back to the very, very beginning. All right, people saying we're buffering. Okay, I ain't buffering. I'm pretty good. I can hear myself. I'm not buffering. What you mean I'm buffering? I ain't buffering. Damn it, that's your CIA. That ain't got nothing to do with that's your freedom agencies. Those are the people who are sworn to protect your freedoms to listen to live streams on the internet. It ain't me. I ain't buffering. Hey, Gerard, can you hear you? I hear you. I'm live. I can feel myself. I can hear myself. That you got a problem. Are you voting for people to limit your access to the internet? If you're voting for people to limit, and they keep putting agencies in to control your access to information because they have a predetermined solution of what you should be and how you should think, then you got a problem on your end. I don't have no problems on my end. I hear myself clear. I hear myself loud. I have any issues. I don't have any issues. If you're buffering on your end, you should try rebooting, go out, come back in, or change your solution. Now, are you a subhuman? If you're a subhuman, if you're a Democrat or Republican, then maybe you should change. Maybe, just possibly. I ain't buffering. I the mosquitoes are flying around here with me. But they hear me. They were loud and clear. What is that anyway? I got a damn mosquito in my trunk. The mosquitoes are busted nowadays. Why the hell? Every time I get in the truck, the mosquito waiting on me. What kind of mosquito sits in a car, motor vehicle, and just waits on you? Like, you're supposed to open the door, open the windows. I always got the windows open. Fly the hell out. I guess the mosquitoes are adapting. They're adapting to the weather. They're starting to realize if they live inside the truck, it's going to be a dummy who's going to come get in the truck every morning so they can feast on. They're just like these leaders. They're just like them. All right. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. They think we're very dumb. No, Sean, I disagree with you, brother. We agree on most things. We disagree on that. They do not think we're dumb. They know we're stupid. There's a difference. They know we're 98% monkey. They know we got these reptilian brains. They got the monkey brains. We evolved to need things. And if we don't get those things, we die, and they abuse us with it. And they're good at it. They're good at it. I'm not mad at the elites. Like I said, these people are genius. They know what they're doing. They take our evolved needs. It's like, Sadhguru said something kind of make me laugh this morning. He was talking to someone who said, we need to talk about greed. We need to talk about greed. And Sadhguru just started laughing. He was kind of like, he's like, let's talk about what it really means, what it really is, right? Greed is just, if you want it, it's greedy. If I want it, it ain't greedy. If I want it, it's a need. If you want it, no, that's greedy. That's greedy. That's greedy because everybody wants to beat them. Everybody wants to replace them. That's why you got this whole eat the rich concept. They're not at the rich at all. They're not mad at richness. No. They're mad at the rich, but they're not mad at richness. There's a difference. They're mad at who is enslaving, but they ain't mad at slavery. Right? So they just want to control the plantation. They want the power. They don't want to fight the power. They want to fight the powerful people so they can get the power to damn self so they can be the tyrant psychopath. That's why I don't do teams. That's why I'm saying that the only way out is humanity. Let me fix the picture back there. All right. So they don't think we're very dumb. They know that we're evolved on a planet full of scarcity, right? That's what it is, Sean. They know that we evolved in this artificially scarce environment that eventually, once the scarcity died down, we killed off most of the animals trying to kill us. We had kingdoms. You understand what I'm saying? After we were running all over this planet, everything was trying to eat us. We all had to group together in tribes and fight off the monkeys and the gorillas and the short-faced bears. And all of a sudden, we started killing all that off the land. The king said, damn it, how do I keep them scared? I got to keep them scared or I got to starve them, one or the other. And they started starving the people and their kingdoms. Kingdom. You get what I'm saying? They didn't lie to you. Like the English language, it tells you everything you need to know. They had to make a bunch of dummies. They need some king dummies. They need some dummies for the king, right? Once you have some dummies for the king, that they think that they're supreme, that the Britons are better than the Italians, and the Italians are better than the Germans, and the Congolese are better than the Nigerians, and the Americans better than the Canadians, and the blacks are better than the whites. Once you have some supremacies and you got a kingdom of dummies, a kingdom. I'm sorry, that's working with me this morning. Once you got a kingdom, then they know you're stupid. They got you. You will give up your life. You will give up your life and you will die for the king. Die for the king. What is dying for the king? That's what a dummy does. Why do dummies do that? Because the king ain't giving you nothing. King ain't sharing. The king ain't sharing. Ain't sharing. You still got Americans thinking we went to Venezuela, stole all their oil, that the kings would share it with them. Their oil price would go down. No, they wouldn't. They ain't gonna share it with you. That was for the Koch brothers. The kings never shared their coffers. They would tell you to defend the king. Why do you think we have sayings like long live the queen? Why? So you will go die for her. That's why. So you'll keep voting and clapping and cheering for these kids to go die for oil companies and coffers and big banks and kings. That's why. Because if you can break a human down into a subhuman and give them some supremacy, they will die for their elites. They'll give up their life. They'll give up their self. They will be willing and happy slaves to put their lives on the line for the king's jewels. That's how bad we're broken. They broke us down. They broke us down. So yeah, so we're not dumb. We're dummies. We're not dumb, Sean. We're dummies. But it's a great system. You cannot fault the system. They abuse us with our evolved nuances. They got us there. Yes, Daniel, we are frequency and vibrations. Christine did not get a notification, and you're gonna get less, Christine. That's just how it works, because everybody's still voting for freedom from the CIA, freedom for the CIA to protect our freedom, and the FBI to protect our investigations, and Homeland Security to protect the homeland, and the police to protect the community, to protect and to serve, and the politicians that are doing a job to continue serving, but they're not really serving, they're just doing a job for corporations. Everybody's still voting for that, so you're gonna get less notifications. I talk everything off. I'm not concerned. Like if it's on TV, it doesn't make any damn sense to me. You know, if it's in the news, you got to refuse. I know I got a gallant talent, right? Because that's what they say the blacks came with. The blacks came. That's where rap came from. You gotta refuse it if it's in the news. It's bull. The only thing I want to talk about with my friends is what nobody else is talking about, and that's called alternative. Best alternative must be racism. It has to be racism. Talk about anything different. Universal decisions, or universal information and data to actually solve problems at the root level. They don't want that because they already got a preconceived place for you. The top of the blacks want to run the blacks, and the slaves, and the top of the whites want to run the whites, the slaves, and that's how it always works. The top of the Christians and the Pope and everybody, they want to run all the Catholics and the Christians and not share the information with them, all the scriptures that they say are yours, written by your God, but they won't let you read them because they're in miles and miles of shelves under the Vatican. Everybody's trying to control it. Everybody's trying to rule the world. Everyone's trying to rule the world unless you're a sovereign. Everybody wants some kingdoms. And everybody lined up to be a dummy. I can't be a dummy. And the funny thing is, yeah, all right, I don't want to offend anybody, but. And then we register to be dummies. I'm not sure I want to say any more on that. We not only are we dumb, but we register to be dummies. And then we take censuses and tell about the other dummies in our house and the dumb things that we're doing. All right, I'm done. What else should I got? I'm not done. I want to see what y'all want to talk about. I don't want to talk about anything I want to talk about. I'm just saying if we don't know our past, we don't know our future. If we have no sense of self, we need to find a sense of self. I can't get off of YouTube and fascist. Oh, wait a minute. I can't get on YouTube. Fascist book kicked me off for a month. Ooh. So I can't like and share. Well, yeah, Eileen, that's supposed to happen. I know it hurts. I know it don't feel good. I know it don't feel good because they made these what was it, DARPA that made the internet? They made these platforms and they funneled all of our information, and they took the whole earth, the whole world, and they put it inside of these little smartphones. That's why they call them smartphones, because they make it stupid. They're smarter than us. And so we have to use these things in social media to get access to what's happening around the world and down the street and whatever. And now we're addicted to that. Like we were talking about sugar and cocaine the other day. Like sugar is like, was it 10 times more addictive than cocaine, or 100 times? I don't know, 1,000 times. At that point, does it really even matter? If it's 2 times, 3 times, 2.5 times, or 1,000,000 times, it doesn't matter. It's addictive. You need to be worried about this, right? Like sugar is more addictive than cocaine, and sugar's in every damn thing. Ain't got no warning labels. And smartphones are significantly more addictive than sugar. And it's just like, these smartphones should come with a warning. Like, it should say right on it, you know how they got the little skull and crossbones on the, like, the poison? Every daggone smartphone and iPad and laptop, not only should it say that this was made by slaves and mined by slavery, and you're proudly buying cotton from a plantation in your nation or another nation, it should have like a warning label. It's like the whole product package. You shouldn't, it can't even be other labels. You just gotta have like skull and crossbones and blood and guts and death and entrails and zombies all over the smartphone, iPhone package. Everything just all over, just warn the hell out of you. This phone is gonna take your life, make you stupid, because everything in it from the internet control is all controlled. It's highly controlled. It's gonna make you dumb. It's gonna take your life, and you will not lead a life. You will be useless as vibration and wave energy on this planet. It will make you into a subhuman. It will make you struggle with other subhumans against other subhumans so our elites can run the world. They need I don't think they can make a warning label big enough for smartphones. The addictive quality and how it's like changing our brain, and how the neurons connect to different pathways and makes more dendrite connections to use these smartphones. And it's so much so that when you put the phone down, you go through states of depression. How crazy that is? You put some Fruit Loops down. I didn't go through depression. I got upset. It's a difference. I mean, I'm sitting eating my Fruit Loops, and I'm just eating. I don't know. I said something to my brother, punched him or something. He punched me. And my mother got upset, and she'd take the Fruit Loops. I'd be upset. I might cry. I don't know. I might throw a thing or two. I might take the napkins and throw them. Not at mama. Not at mama. Hell no. My parents believe in spare the rod, spoil the child. Hell no. My right butt cheek still doesn't grow today for some of the things my mother hit me with. But I wouldn't be, it's not like an addiction. I'm not gonna start shaking for no damn Fruit Loops. I'm not gonna shaking because I can't get the brownies. You take away a person's smartphone in that study, and they showed their brain went through depression just by taking it away for 24 hours. 24 hours showing you're in a state of depression. Do you have any idea what'll happen if Ziggy Marley's right and when the lights go out, all we have is music? Do y'all know that song? He's lying, it ain't true. The lights go out, you would not have music because none of y'all play music. I do, I still got my saxophone. I'll be like, ha, ha, ha. Most people don't play music no more. When the lights go out, you ain't got nothing. Your smartphone ain't working, it ain't plugging up. When the terrorists get tired, because they ain't terrorists, they just farmers want us to leave the damn land alone. When they shut the power off over here and they shut down the power grid, when they like remove protection around the substations and they just shut down the 3 substations that need to shut down all power in America. When the DHS that's protecting the homeland stands back and turns off the phalanx systems like they did at the Pentagon during 9/11, and they shut all this stuff down, the agencies, and they go ahead and let them attack us and the power goes out, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think? If nothing changes, if we stay addicted to smartphones, we can't talk to mama, we can't talk to our kids, we can't talk to this, we don't know what's happening. Y'all should watch the show Jericho. When we imagine being in a nation with 300 million people, 300 million people, and let's say, I don't know, only 50 million live in the ghetto, the barrio, the trailer park, and live like the outside, the pharaohs. And they don't have smartphones. They can't afford them, don't want them, whatever. And everybody else, 250 million people are in depression. I think the only thing worse than people who ain't got no food, water, and scared of tomorrow, and they're in a state of depression, do you have any idea what's gonna happen in this country? When the currency system collapses, or when the Democrats and Republicans finally get their world war and this power gets shut off. You have any idea what's gonna happen? Yeah. That's why I keep digging my bunker every time I see a vote, and every time somebody registers to vote, I just take another shove and digging. You gotta dig it deep. You want to be You want to live in America, you need a bunker. You need to go down. You need to get through the first, I don't know, what's the name of that show? 48 hours or something? Get through the first 48? You got to get through the first 48 days. It's like the name of that movie was 38 Days Later, when the zombies are running around eating everybody. That's going to be America. That's all I'm saying is focus on, if it happened in the past, it's going to happen in the future. That's it. It's not conspiracy theory. It's just when you have enslaving economic debt-based systems, they always have to reset. And when they reset, it makes people kind of moody. Right? And they can't watch Kim Kardashian. They're going to get a little moody. You might start looking Kardashian-ish. All right? That's all I'm saying. Is people going to have their fun and their joys, and it's not funny. It's ugly. But this is what happens when you let people who are supposed to be leaders lie to you. When they lie to you, they control everything. Justice says that she cherishes her freedom, so I stay away from those alpha beta programming agencies. And you should stay away from them. I mean, they're made up of humans and they're good people in there, but the intention of the organizations isn't what the people join for. Right? People join Homeland Security, CIA, police, all this stuff because they want to help. It's like teachers going to education. Why? Because they want to teach. They want to be educators. Social workers going to social work because they want to be social and help out the kids and everything. And they get there, they're like, oh. You know, COs in prison, they want to go there and be correctional officers because they want to go help correct people. They get in there and they find out, oh, damn, this is like a fight club. What the hell? Like, I can't, whoa. The police get in there like, whoa, this isn't like, I'm not like getting cats out of trees. I'm supposed to shoot and drag people and put them in cages, you know? And now the public hates me, right? People who join Homeland Security, I want to protect the homeland, but you get in there, we have a systemic issue. We have a model issue, right? So we don't need to turn on those organizations. You need to turn on the whole basis of the system. This model has to go away. Children live in this country. Children live on this planet. These currency debt-based systems have to go. People sending their children to the programming camps and trying to teach a different truth at home. Yeah, that's all you can do, Chris. It's a scary thing, or unless you're going to homeschool. I send my kids to school every day like I was telling you. I go on to school, don't believe none of it. just understand it, don't believe it. Understand it, pass the test, get your grades, but don't believe it. You know, the school system, it's there to make you a zombie, and I don't want no zombie kids walking around. I got a lot of friends that got zombie kids. I see their problems. I don't want their problems. Where their kids aren't critical thinkers, their kids are like, they believe in the system, they go to college, they get a degree, they work for a big corporation, destroying the environment, creating weapon engineering systems, creating massive metal machines to go murder people, creating new debt-based currency model schemes and scams for banks, and they're proud of it. And their parents are like trying to like, no, this isn't a good idea, baby. And they're going back and forth and they're fighting. I don't want them problems. I don't want them problems. I want my kids to be critical thinkers. And Chris, the only way you do that, like you know, is you have to raise kids that question you. Right? You are the authority figure. When a child is born, you are God. Child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of subhuman kinds. Blind to the ways of the scams that's going to be given to that kid, right? You're God to them. And if you can teach a kid to question mom, I know this is difficult for some of y'all to accept, but this is how it works. If you teach a kid at a young age to respectfully question I questioned my mother, but I did it respectfully. Right? That woman to beat the hell out of her. Question dad respectfully. If you can teach a kid to question what seems to be God at a young age, then their brain forms the neurons and dendrite connections. And I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I know it's right loosely. But I'm not a neuroscientist. But their brain forms in a way to question things, and they be good at questioning. It's how we evolve. It's how the human body works. Anything you give a kid at a young age, they learn to master. And when they become adults, they master it. So you're either creating kids to be indoctrinated and listen to authority, or you're creating kids to question authority. I decided, Chris, I wanted kids who question authority. So I let them question me, little bastards. I love them to death, but it's hard. It's hard because they question you, you know. And it's not easy to drive you crazy, put gray all over your face. But when you create, that's how you change the world. It's how you change. In case all this stuff we fail, we got to make sure that the kids get it right. And the only way they'll get it right is you make them question everything. And no, not questioning, question everything. Everything. Question their government, question their race, question religion, question ethnicity, question anything that's on the news, question everything corporations say, question everything. And that's how you free your planet, is through the next generation. But you gotta convince them at a young age, it's okay to question the greatest authority they know. And that's their parents or even their God. Or even their God. Why? Because we know there was a big G God. I call it the Big Bang. You can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't really care what you call it. And there's a whole bunch of little G gods. Now, the interesting thing about the little G gods is these kids should be questioning, because the little G gods were writing scriptures too. The interesting thing that all your gods have in common, I was thinking about this, they got one thing in common. Well, they probably got a couple, but there's one thing that I know. If you got other things, post them and we'll read them later. They all believed that you shouldn't be scared of life. They all believe that you shouldn't fear anything on this planet. They all believed that this wasn't it, right? That this wasn't it. The only reason we think we die is because we have 5 senses. And we're locked into survival, right? So we use our survival senses. You know, John is up running around today, the rhino hit John, next day John in the ditch. John died. But that's only because we have 5 senses. We don't spend time in the 6th sense. We don't realize that there's something after that. But all the little G gods, they all might have disagreed on what you're supposed to eat, when you eat it, how you eat, what you do, but they all agreed that you were supposed to live your life a certain way. You're supposed to work together, and that you don't die. Because fear is what broke the human race. When you give a fear to a human race, then that means you can take its life. You can put it into a subhuman group, and you can make it go live off and be run off and be a slave for you. Fear. You can't have any fear, and I think that's why all the little G gods agreed on that you shouldn't have any fear. Because if you don't have any fear, you can live your life the way you need to. Now, mind you, in America, if you do that, that means you're going to die, go to prison. You're going to die, go to prison, because America's not a free country. You can put the flag down. You can stop cheering that nonsense, because you're not free. You don't own your land, and you damn sure ain't free. Everybody who exercises freedom in America, everybody who peacefully exercises their freedoms in America, they all get shot by the agencies that are protecting their freedom. They all get caged by the agencies sworn to protect their freedom. And there's a good reason why. But you gotta question why. You gotta question why. From LaVoy Finnecom to all these kids in these inner cities, they're all getting shot up. The trailer parks, they're all dragging them off the cages. Why? Because you chasing the president. He put 1,000 people in cages. You know how many people we got in cages? You know how many kids we got in cages? Both political parties. That's why I'm not interested in impeachment. I think you need to impeach your ideas of impeachment. That's what I think. I think you need to, some people mad right there. They're like, oh, damn it, what you talking about? We need to impeach him to change the world. I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. If you don't know your past, you will never know your future. If you have no sense of self, they will always take what they indoctrinated and created as your mind through the education system and everything around you, including your parents, and abuse you with it. I don't know what's going on, but YouTube done broke. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, Citizen Debs. I don't know. YouTube was broke. That'll happen. Every now and then it'll break. Or it's just because y'all talking alternative stuff and they're trying to guide the conversation. Got a patient arguing. Wait, got a patient arguing about arguing? Not wanting to hear me. Fingers in the ear. Well, the patient's supposed to have fingers in the ear, Lori. They don't have natural medicine. They can't. All the painkillers were scheduled 1. Like, the only thing worse probably than being in a nation, mass depression after a collapse of an economic system, will probably be in a nation that's depending on drugs. A nation depending on synthetic drugs to get up in the morning and not see shadows and spirits and need to cut everything up. That might be kind of scary. But we have a Schedule 1. We got a DEA, and the first thing they Schedule 1 were painkillers. Why? Because once again, you fear. If you can make people fearful of pain, you can get them to do anything you want them to do. The pharmaceutical industry, they wanted a captive audience, right? And so if you can give people fear of pain, you can make them take your drugs. You'll make them go to their local CVS or Walgreens and just start popping the pills, all the synthetic drugs. Just pop them in, ignore epigenetics, ignore all the changes it's doing to your DNA, and they won't even look it up because they don't want to feel the pain. So I get it. That's why I don't work in no damn hospital. Not me. Nope. People in pain will do all kind of things. You ever see a dog get hit by a car and it's kind of moving a little bit and it's not dead. It's not dead, but it's kind of moving. He ain't dead. You know, as kids we were taught, you don't ever go up to that dog. Don't go try to pet that dog. Yeah, if you're going to help the dog, you need to take a blanket, wrap it around it, contain it, and get it to the veterinarian hospital. You go up there and you try to pet a dog in pain, you'll find out you're not petting a dog. You're going to be petting instincts. You're going to be petting a wolf. All right. And this is what's wrong with America, is you got so many people in Britain, Australia, all the rest of the places where you got drug addicts, people walking around in pain like zombies with their predatory instincts. They're wild. That's active. That's firing. And you're going to get some wild behavior out of it. You're going to get neighbors turning on neighbors. This is why you got the ignorance you got right now in the political system. Like I said, we don't have a political system. We literally have a controlled wild system because they're using everybody's wild to make them stupid, to make them dummies for the king dummy. I like king dummy. I like that. King dummies. King dummies and the king dummy. And I know y'all think, he's talking about Trump. I ain't talking about Trump because if you think Trump is a king, you're stupid. I love you. No, you're not stupid. Ignorant. Presidents don't control a damn thing. Never have, never probably will. Powerful people who never appear on television control everything. Let me see. And the cops are better than humanity. You know what, Jack? The funny thing about cops, I'm not a cop blamer. I'm not a cop blamer, and I'm not a cop hater. I understand. See, I grew up with kids who wanted to be police officers. I actually wanted to be one for a period of time. I wanted to be in the Air Force for a period of time. Why? Because you want to help. That's that need to want to join it. But after you join, you realize it's not about helping. And then there are those who are like, you know what? This is not what it's about. We are not helping people. We're not saving lives. And they go become teachers or something. But then you got those who convince themselves that they can help, that a little bit of help is better than no help at all. And they stick through it, or they just fall in love with the idea of it. And then that psychopathy starts to kick in, the warrior gene. Just like the Vietnam War. You know, you didn't send people who were, oh gosh, I hate the word racist, but for the lack of a better term, you didn't send people to the Vietnam War that hated Asian people, that hated the Vietnamese, but they came back hating. Why? Because if you are in a place and everybody who looks like a certain thing is trying to kill you, does it turn you prejudiced against that person? Yes. Right? Shell shock. What do they call it? PTSD. What do they call it? All these different things. And so I'm not a police hater. I understand that the core passion of most police officers was to do good. The core passion of most of the CIA and the FBI was to do good. The core passion of most of the military was not to do good. It was to pay for college. It was to pay for college. It was. They were going. Who wants to drive a tank and blow humans up? Nobody wants to do that. Ain't no child born on this planet wants to do that. We play with tanks. They're fun as kids. We like to watch G.I. Joe, but if you watch G.I. Joe, nobody dies. You see a bunch of lightning bolts go back and nobody dies, okay? Nobody wants to drive a tank over humans' heads, okay? Nobody wants to be in the military. They're just poor kids. They want to pay for college, and that's why they got rid of the draft. Why? So you will keep voting for war criminals. Keep voting for warmongers. That's why. They send the poor people off to go fight for the king, because it's the kingdom, and they got a whole lot of dummies. They got dummies just above the dummies that just got just enough money in the middle class where they don't have to sign up for the military, but then the ones at the bottom have to. All right. This is our fault. Yes, it's our fault, Sean. I don't blame the government. I don't blame the government. I don't blame the elites. I don't blame anyone. I don't blame any of them. It's us. We collectively. This is why our only way out is sovereignty. Like, our only way out is to be human. That's the only threat against the debt-based economic systems. That's the only threat against slavery or war or anything else anybody's fighting. That's the only threat against all the supremacies, and robot supremacy, the only one that actually matters, is to be human. If you actually grow the hell up and you rediscover that you are cousins with everybody on this planet, then you ain't got nobody to fight. When you realize that everybody on Earth is abused, everybody on Earth got problems, everybody on Earth has scars. When you realize that, you ain't got nobody to fight. You just want to change the system. That's it. When you look at the past and you want to control your future, then you start to understand that you're related to everybody. When you're related to everybody, you got nobody to fight. You start dealing with problems like you're an adult and you're a family. You talk, you negotiate, you look at all the data and you try to come up with universal solutions that helps everybody in the family. That's the only way out. I don't blame the government. The government's doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's supposed to secure power, and it's continued to secure more power through writing legislation, right? The corporations are doing what they're supposed to do. Their bottom line is the bottom line. You're supposed to make money. You can call it greed if you want to, but if you were doing it, you wouldn't call it greed. You wouldn't call it greed. If you were Elon Musk, you wouldn't say, I'm greedy. No, you wouldn't. You would say, I'm successful. Right? If it goes too fast and it gets too big, we say, that's great, you're greedy. But you know, if you were doing it, you'd be like, yeah, I'm good. You know, damn it, look what I did. I got 8 houses and mansions and yachts and stuff. And anytime somebody says something, one of the poor people to make you feel bad, what would you do? Because you call it success. The only thing you do, you'll discover philanthropy. You got $800 billion and you send like $1 million to, I don't know, to help the something foundation or something. You ain't even gonna read it. You hire people to do that, like the Rockefellers did, the Rockefeller Foundation. They had so much money, they didn't know what to do with it. Johnny D good, that we made Johnny D bad through the system. Like I said, I don't even blame the Rockefellers. You know, Johnny D wanted to help his mama. All right, that's the real talk. Real talk. It's easy to hate the Rockefellers, but Double Bill, he was more behind that than Johnny D. Johnny D just didn't like growing up watching his mama being poor. He was like any other kid in the ghetto. He was like any other kid in the trailer park. He was like any other kid in the burial. He was like what any other male of this species is supposed to do. First thing you're supposed to do, protect your mama. Learn how to protect your mama, protect your mama, protect your mama, protect the females of the species. That's the first thing you're gonna learn to do. Protect the weak and the females. And that's all Johnny D wanted to do. But he lived in a system, the only way he could protect his mama was to become a billionaire. And guess what? He just got good at it. That's it. He did all that cronyism stuff. I'm not gonna go back through that because we did that video like a month ago. All right, let me see. But one thing I will say is we got to get organized. I'm actually working on some organization stuff. We actually got to get organized. Social media doesn't work for us. Social media, it's not going to work to save the world, I don't think. I think social media is a great place to recruit people back to humanity, right? To recruit people back to looking at the universal problems all over the world. A good place to be social and connect. But you're not going to solve any problems here. So we have to get organized. And I'm looking at this a couple ways that I think the people who want to come with me, not follow me, and not follow me. I'm not looking for followers. I ain't looking for slaves. I am not building a king dummy. I don't want to be a king of the dummies. I don't want a kingdom. But I think people who want to start going this direction, looking at robot supremacy, looking at artificial scarcity, planned obsolescence, you know, alternative information, I think we have to kind of get organized and we got to make it easier for other people to wake up. So if you got ideas, I'm taking all the ideas that you got. We do have to figure out how to wake people up faster, how to expose them more to information. The example would be, I don't know, you got a cousin fighting climate change. You got a cousin cutting his grass fighting climate change, all right? A cousin who bought a house on half an acre that ripped up all the soil, put down clay, put up a house fighting, change the climate to fight climate change. How do you expose him to the fact that it's a scam? Not that the climate ain't changing, but that it's being driven, the information, to scam people, to make disaster capitalism out of changing weather. You know, something where they have to be able to really quickly get details and information. Oh, that's Sister Donna in the house, Donna! Or very simply, somebody who's still looking up like, we the only species on the damn planet. We the only species in the universe. Kind of hook them up with somebody like Donna, like, no, we got people who work for NASA who actually saw the structures from the moon, worked in parts of NASA where they had departments and all they do is airbrush the photos to get rid of all the ancient archaeology on the moon. Why? Why would there be ancient archaeology on the moon? Because this wasn't made by a damn geological earthquakes. This wasn't made by a daggone asteroid. This was probably made by people or perfected by people. That's why the rings are concentric. Okay? And that's why Solon told you that. And the Egyptians, everybody knew the Atlanteans back then. Everybody knew them, right? And it's the Temple of Dendra. Where's Susan at? Susan still here? Susan fell asleep. Y'all wake Susan up. The Temple of Dendra that told the story of Atlantis. I believe that was the one. So we know it's real. We know it's factual. We have enough going back into past information to know that there were people, there was an advanced race of human beings on this planet that could fly. That's all we need to know, that the Vimanas were real. It's not just the Egyptians. You go back to the Indians and in the Sanskrit text, that the Vimanas were real, that they were flying around. We have the archaeology to prove that the same people, the same building techniques were used from continent to continent to continent to continent. So there was a circumnavigating civilization that lived on this planet, right? But that's only an alternative archaeology that will explain that to you. So you know that what they talked about was important. And now you link that together with the people from NASA are saying that there's structures on the moon. Then it makes sense. You see a UFO fly through, you're not like, that's not a UFO. You know, say, yes, it is a UFO. It is unidentified. Not that there's not humans on it, not that it's not your United States Space Force, but that was not impossible to do. That they did it a long time ago. And then when Bob Lazar comes out, and he says that, oh, yeah, we got all these crafts. I worked on them, reverse social engineering. The whole world needs to know that free energy is real, and we're reverse engineering it. We need to free the planet. When Stephen Greer says that, with the 1,000 people who worked in the different offices in government in Britain and the United States all want to testify in front of Congress, then you don't question it because you link all that information together and it makes sense to you that they're trying to control the future. They're literally hiding the past to control the future. It changes your whole makeup of reality. And you realize then that you are in a matrix, that you're being lied to about everything. And then you stop voting for people who hold up a system that's designed in line to you to control the future. All right? Depressed folks can barely get out of bed. I don't know how dangerous that is. Well, right, the ones who can't get out of bed, Rebecca, but the ones that do. That's what I'm worried about. Not the ones that don't get out of bed in the morning when we have 240 million depressed drug addicts in America. It's the ones that actually get out of bed, feel they have to. You know, because a lot of depressed people go to work. And you have to deal with moody people are hard to deal with. Depressed people, that's a whole nother topic. All right. I'd rather die than force underground, to be honest. I would too, Megs, but like for a long time. I could go underground for 30 days or something. I could do like a camping trip underground, Megs. I could do that. Like if the poles shifted and I had to go hide somewhere because the hashtag Adam and Eve declassified story happened. I could go underground for 30 days, let the water rescind or whatever happened, let the wind stop, then I could pop back out. But yeah, live underground like a Morlock, I'm with you. I'll never do that. Not me. I like sunlight too much. I have no interest in living underground. I'll get in a spaceship, they'd take me. I'll go live on another planet or something. I'll go live in space, but yeah, living underground, I'm not gonna do that. But the thing about it is we don't have to. We don't actually have to. If we know bad things are coming and our government's always gonna lie to us when that bad thing is coming, we can say we don't need a government or a government can't have secrecy. We need to know when it's coming. And if we know when it's coming, we can start to look out for everybody instead of the elites and 100 families just looking out for them, making sure most of us die when this calamity finally comes that destroyed Atlantis and the hundreds of other. I don't know how many times we've been reset. The Egyptians say dozens. It could have been thousands of times that humans have been reset. We go back and find archaeology from millions of years ago, footprints in rock. Right? We've been here for millions of years. You know how many times this planet has pole shifted or an asteroid hits that's wiped out human civilization and everything that we create? FB equals synthetic cannabis. Whoa, developed with our taxes to make all crazier and more dissatisfied. We're being led by an agency with 2 subscribers. One is colored red and the other's colored blue. That's a fact, it's a fact, it's a fact, it's a fact. Straight from Teresa's mouth to your ears. Don't you ever put no synthetic cannabis in your body or you're a fool. Dumb as us putting synthetic corn in our mouths, okay? Silly as us putting synthetic soy in our mouth. These people have no idea what they're doing. Nobody on this planet knows the long-term side effects of eating genetically modified food at the DNA level. Nobody knows that. Hell no. And you take a plant that is highly controlling of the human brain, like cannabis, the immune system, the heart. What does the endocannabinoid system interface with? Pretty much everything. And I'm gonna put that in my body? You crazy? Hell no. But that's why I think they legalized it. The pharmaceutical industry's ready to take it over. Because who was it, Monsanto? I forgot who was lying, like, we're not working on GMO cannabis. We have no interest. And all of a sudden it got legalized. We've got GMO cannabis ready to go. And people are like, yeah, that makes sense. They're going to load across the cannabis. They're going to make we are so gullible. And but once again, if you don't know your past, you won't know your future. If you don't know Monsanto created the Agent Orange and DDT that murdered millions of people in the Vietnam, that is still murdering people in the Vietnam right now, that is still giving these babies birth defects, and you're still voting for a government that when they have meetings about what to do and how to save the world, they invite Monsanto CEOs and not you. They don't invite nobody from Vietnam. Damn sure don't. None of the kids that are deformed by Monsanto, but they sure enough invite Monsanto, Bayer, Coca-Cola, Hershey, and all the rest of them. They're all in bed together. They're all colluding. That's why you don't have to worry about the Russians. You just need to worry about the collusion of your government and the big corporations with robot supremacy. That's why I don't play white supremacy on my thread at all. You go ahead and say white supremacy, we need to have a discussion. We need to sit down. You need a little bit of spanking with love, a little tough love, but we need to grow the hell up. The only supremacy you need to focus on is robot supremacy, because all these big corporations and governments are trying to get rid of you and your little snotty kids of all colors and races and ethnicities, and they will the minute they got robot supremacy. When they got the robots and they're making them and they're making themselves and repairing themselves, writing their software, in which I think they're damn near close. Based on what I saw in corporate America, they're damn near close. And they don't need humans anymore. And after that, you fought and you fuggle, your fake struggle that was given to you by kings and lords because they needed some king, they were building a king dummy, and then wipe us all out. Time to grow up. That's all I'm saying. Time to focus on the big problems. Stop focusing on the little problems. Focus on the big problems. All right. We didn't look at the news today. I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, yeah. Have any comments from anybody? Patricia's in the house. Let me see. Susan and the one about the vet that loses his limbs. All right, I missed that, Megs, but yeah, vets lose their limbs and they shouldn't. Kids should not be losing limbs and lives fighting for corporations and banks and wars that have absolutely nothing to do with us, for a nation that's not even free. A nation that starves its own citizens and poisons them while sending billions of dollars overseas to other nations with two political parties that you think they're being political and they're not. They're just building king dummies. That's all they're doing. Brother Anthony's in the house. A cop, G. Yeah, Daniel, I wanted to be a cop. Absolutely, I wanted to be a cop. Absolutely, I'm proud of that. I wanted to help. Right? As a kid, you're taught the cops want to help. I wanted to help. I wanted to be a firefighter too. Why? I wanted to put fires out. I wanted to be in NASA. Why? Because I wanted to go into space. I wanted to be in the Air Force because I wanted to fly aircraft and save human life. And then you find out that that's what they lie to children and tell them. The stories. It's the passion behind it, not the actual thing. So yeah, I had a passion. I've always had a passion to help people. I don't know why, it's just in there. Whatever I am, wave energy. So let's try to help each other. Let's try to help everybody. We can't help everybody, let's do it. You know, 80 years ago, we couldn't help everybody. We had something to politic about. We had something to debate about. Right now, when it comes to being human and humanitarian, there's nothing to debate about. You either help everybody or you don't. That's it. That's the only and nothing else is a humanitarian. No one else is humanitarian. You're either helping everybody or you don't. There are people who want to do selective help. And some of the people, they don't understand, which is why I appreciate you sharing. That's why I tell everybody, every day I tell them, we have the robots and automation to help everybody. We're just not helping. We're choosing not to because we want to help certain people and push other people down. Sadly, we've gotten used to getting bit. My teacher once said to me I'd rather get bit by a dog that I know than a dog that I don't know. That's interesting, Anthony. So maybe the political system is kind of about that. Maybe some people are still playing politics decades after there's nothing to be political about. It's because they'd rather get bit by the dog they know than the dog they don't. That's the slave mind. That's that slave mind, Anthony. It's the slave mind. Only a slave wants to get bit by any damn thing. I don't get bit by a mosquito. Let alone your leaders. I don't get bit by anything. How about we build a world where nobody gets bit? We can do that. And we don't need GMO mosquitoes to do that. You don't need no chemtrails. All right, I'm gonna try to take a quick peek and see if there's anything in the news that we need to look at. Oh, it's the weekend. The Walking Dead is coming on. Very important. Very important. Fear the Walking Dead, anyway. All right, let's pull this up. What we got? Anything important? Once again, I go to RT because it's probably the best of the worst, the best of the horrible media. Like RT, I don't believe any of the media, but to me, RT is like, we're at a bad party, and this is like the best drink at the bad party. Because all the media is bad. All of it's bad. Good media is called off. It's not actually allowed on television. But RT says probably just enough. Let me see. Let me see that. Oh, that's too small. Y'all can't see that. Let's make it big. I see Snowden. I want to show Snowden. Did Brother Walter leave? If he left, we can talk about Snowden. I've not. Walter doesn't play. He's like, he controlled opposition. You can't talk about Assange around him. I'm just like, stay calm. Focus on the fact that everybody is literally controlled opposition. Everybody's controlled by the CIA. You think I'm controlled by the CIA? I'm being controlled by the CIA right now. You know why? Because they're letting me post this video. They're controlling me. I'm not saying the right things. If I was saying the right things, you would see blackness. They just shut it off. That's how it works. But then I have a theory. I think there are enough good people in these organizations that let just enough come through the cracks to let people see the matrix, but people got to make their own minds up. They're blocking me. That's it. They're blocking Gerard. Everything else works. Oh, okay, Eileen. Well, it's only temporary. It's only temporary. Like I said, these are not our websites. They're not our software, and they will kick alt off when they're done. When they're done letting us play. All right, let me see. Political panic in the West. Why is there political panic in the West? Remember, there should be no politics. There's nothing to fight over. Everyone fights over resources. We got robots and automation to give everybody all the resources that they need. So there really is nothing to fight about. We got the robots to give people everything that they want to. Nothing to fight about. It's just dummies helping kings build kingdoms. How U.S. aid draws Ukraine into NATO. U.S. shouldn't be giving any aid. That's stupid. If we have robots and automation to create resources and things to solve all the problems, which is what everybody fights over, then we should be building growth systems and building houses for people in Ukraine and those that are opposing NATO. We shouldn't be sending them money. Sending them money is just propping up the Rothschild central banking system. That's not helping anybody. That's keeping world conflicts turning. Unfair competition. Putin gives U.S. economic lesson. I'm not scared of Russia. I'm not sure that sounds anything important to me. Impeachment. Impeachment. High crimes. Naked partnership. They said naked. We gotta watch that. Can we watch that? They're talking about naked people. Something about naked. I'm sorry. It's me. It's how it works. That vitamin D3, y'all. Everybody's supposed to be naked. You ain't supposed to have clothes.
Now here in the United States, President
Remember this. God, the Garden of Eden could have done many things to y'all dummies. And God didn't cut off your leg, or testicles and penises, and didn't do anything like that. God just said you got to get the hell out the garden. It said you got to get the hell out the garden, so you can't eat fresh, organic, natural food, and that's gonna make you live forever. And the other thing is, you ain't got no clothes on, you're naked, and everybody was shameful of themselves. You shouldn't be shameful. You got to get out there and get your vitamin D3, or you're gonna die. Your immune system needs that. So anyway, they talk about naked. So let's look at this.
Donald Trump continues to face an impeachment inquiry, and here are the bullet points we think you should know from today.
Okay.
First, former Ukraine envoy Kurt Volker was interviewed behind closed doors by 3 House committees. Now, Volker's name was among those mentioned in the original whistleblower complaint. Meanwhile, the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is calling on Speaker Nancy Pelosi to end the impeachment inquiry, arguing there was no clear indication that the inquiry would give due process to the president. And now President Donald Trump is doubling down on his comments about former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter, calling on China to investigate. The Democrats are accusing President Trump of asking another country to interfere in the 2020 election.
Likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens, because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine. So I would say that President Zelensky, if it were me, I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Bidens.
Well, for the 360 View, we have to bring in our political panel, civil rights attorney Robert Patillo and Carrie Sheffield, national editor, Accuracy in Media. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be the topic because I would rather bring in the experts to discuss than me just to continue to pontificate about as we go through this impeachment process. That being said, Robert, Kevin McCarthy, what chances does he have that Nancy Pelosi is just going to drop it and say, you know what, you're right, let's get back to other issues in the country?
zero. There's absolutely zero chance that it's going to happen. And it's primarily because President Trump keeps pushing the issue. I, as an attorney, I cannot understand the concept of somebody being accused of a crime and then admitting to the exact crime, and then double downing on admitting to that crime the very next day. I'm not quite sure the White House communication strategy. I'm not quite sure if they just want the impeachment to go through so they can use it as an election year issue. But this, whoever his attorney is, should be disbarred in every jurisdiction.
Well, that would be Rudy Giuliani, and we can get to that in a few minutes. Back at you, Carrie. As Robert put it, it's a crime. Trump's admitted to this crime. It should be an open and closed case. But what is the crime again?
Yes, exactly. No one can point to the U.S. code that I've heard. And look, just tell the American people so they can decide. But I haven't heard it specifically outlined.
Wait a minute. All right. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't even here. I wasn't listening. I had to pee. I'm sorry. I had to go pee. What happened? Somebody did a crime? All right, number one question, because you don't have to listen to this nonsense. But number one question, first of all, how much money did they have? Right? Because it's only a crime when you servants and peasants and the dummies do it, okay? When the voters do it, it's a crime. Hell yeah, it's a crime. But when the people who are helping mask robot supremacy and mass destruction of the planet and mask all of it, that's when it's not a crime. That's when they're all friends. They all work together. They all ask one of them, like, I don't believe none of this. That's why I wasn't watching. I had to pee. It's more important. I had to recycle the coffee. Sorry, are they going to list the crime? Is it a naked crime? I wasn't paying attention.
And what we do here instead is a liberal media echo chamber over and over. From day one, the Washington Post on Inauguration Day talked about how the impeachment push was already happening. So this was a foregone conclusion that the resistance media, as well as the resistance Democratic Party, they don't care about getting things done. Whether it's the trade deal with Mexico and Canada, whether it's lowering prescription.
Hang on, I'm not going to listen to what you say they don't want to get done, because I don't believe it. They don't want to get anything done. They don't want to decorrupt themselves neither. That's just the real story. Impeachment is just disaster capitalism, right? It's just a tool of disaster capitalism. If you can get people focused on impeachment, they don't focus on anything important. What are some of the important things? I don't know. Kids living in caves under New York City, under 8 levels of subway tunnels. People living under Seattle. People, piles of poo in San Francisco. People dying of starvation. The medieval diseases all over these cities like Baltimore. Like real important issues that they completely ignore. They don't want to do anything about them. And the people agree. The people step right over the homeless. They don't give 2 damns about them because they're invisible. Why? Because they're scared. Racism. We got to impeach Trump. We got to impeach Trump because he's racist, right? So we got to ignore everybody of all races that have all needs so we can impeach this guy. And I'm just like, I have no interest at all. I really don't want to watch the rest of that. We can if y'all want to. I'm not interested. It's all controlled. It's all a story. It's all a narrative. It's all BS. It's all a waste of time. Somebody didn't think it's BS. This is important. When we impeach Trump, the people will come out of the subway tunnels. The Morlocks will have food when the American Morlocks. I'm like, we got soldiers all over this world. Like, why the hell am I in the Republic of Zimbabwe Bugatti? Why am I here? Why do I have all this weaponry? Why am I here? I want to be home with my kids. I want to be home with my family. I'm not defending my country. I've been coming home as a veteran, telling people these wars are not for us. They're not defending anything. It's like we got real problems. We've got bridges falling apart, roads falling apart, buildings falling down, and the CIA blowing buildings up. We got all kind of problems. But they're going to focus on impeachment. That's what I'm saying. Like, war a problem? Nope. But we got to get the racists. He said, grab them in the coochie. That's what I'm saying. I'm not interested in your coochie election. This is all a coochie sideshow. That's all it is. And literally, that's all they're fighting over. That's all they're fighting over. They're fighting over silliness and dumb things, childish things. The whole impeachment narrative is BS from the beginning to the end. Because I tell you, first of all, there are few organizations more racist in this world than the Democrats. Oh. I don't like when I say that. There are few organizations that aren't even close to approaching the racism because they're the ones who restarted slavery in Africa. I mean, the Republicans are much better, but they restarted slavery in Africa. Okay? They did the crime bill, right? They out racist Reagan with the crime bill. They out racist Reagan with tough on crimeism, and there are more slaves in the American prison of minority status, and there are more slaves around the world in Africa of darker skin because of the Democrats killing Gaddafi. So let's talk about racism, but they don't like that, right? Because everything is subhuman tribalism, right? You get people in these subhuman tribal groups and you get them acting stupid. We'll go ahead and let her say what she needs to say.
Drug prices. People within the hardcore left in the media and the Democrat Party would rather grind this country to a halt rather than actually get something done.
Well, that's the thing, Robert. I mean, we all know the fable of the boy who cried wolf. A lot of Republicans going, listen, even just a few months ago, these same Democrats that are going to agree for impeachment in this case were calling for Trump's impeachment over comments that he made about the squad. This has been since the day President Trump was elected. Do you think Democrats right now are going, you know what, maybe we should have just held off to something like this, and then it wouldn't just be once again just like the same thing we've heard for the last 2.5 years?
Absolutely, I agree with you on that, and that's what Nancy Pelosi has done. She's pushed back against these wave after wave of calls for impeachment. Representative Al Green out of Texas has continuously filed articles of impeachment against the president. But let's understand, when you...
I can't do anymore. I tried. I gave it my best effort. People, I can't watch this. It's stupid. Like, you can watch The Matrix and look at things that don't matter at all for a little while. I just don't have the patience. I'm too old for fairy tales and cartoons. You know what? The only cartoon I'm gonna watch is the one my son wants me to watch. It's called, what's it called? The one with the giant naked people. What's the name of that cartoon? I know y'all kids watch it. The giant naked people running around. I don't know why my son wants me to watch giant naked people, 50-foot naked people running around. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, I'm gonna watch that one. I think it's like anime. All right. Let me see, what else we got? Anything important? It's only a bad word when Trump tweets it. Okay, he's a Trump supporter. I'm not against Trump supporters. They got nothing wrong with them. They're trying to figure out the system like everybody is. They're trying to solve problems like the Democrats are, but it's all a fantasy show. So no, it's only a bad word in tweet when somebody who is not in your subhuman group tweets it. That's when it's a bad word. When someone in your subhuman group tweets it, it's okay. It's only rape when someone in your non-subhuman group does it. When someone in your group does it, it's okay. It's just an accident. They're mental illness, right? It's only pedophilia when someone in your non-subhuman group does it. When they're in your own group, they're helping the NSA. That's how you break humans. You make them emotional, you give them fear, and you group them up in subhuman groupings. Fashion rebels against tyranny of the woke. Fashion rebels against tyranny of the woke. I don't even know when I'm gonna say that. Fashion police state. I don't know about the fashion part, but the police state's interesting. Let's talk about police state, because all empires need a police state.
So is political correctness killing the fashion industry? Well, RT correspondent Natasha Sweet has more on how some designers are speaking up against what they're calling the tyranny of the woke.
Artists thrive through creativity, but now as political correctness has become front and center across the U.S., some fashion designers say the PC police are actually hindering their imagination. Scandals have rocked the biggest names in the fashion world. After being called too sexy, too white, too skinny, some companies question if it's just too much sensitivity. This came from the luxury brand.
Yeah, I'm done with that. So first of all, that's racism. There is no well-meaning racism. There is no positive racism. You only have racism. There's no racism against one group. It's just racism. If you're dumb enough to believe in race, then yeah, you're going to yell and scream racism. So not dumb enough, ignorant enough. If you believe the kings and lords and plantation owners, and you still believe in these fantasy constructs and the earth is flat, basically no science, then yeah, you're going to have these type of issues. I can't comment on this mainly because look at me. Do I know anything about fashion? Okay, I wear mismatched socks. I don't really even care. Once I wore mismatched shoes. It happens. So I can't really comment on fashion. I will say though that's probably a rabbit hole too, because there literally should be no fashion. Everybody should be naked, running around in the garden. All right, that way we won't have the healthcare crisis we do if people ran around naked. Although we have a lot of other problems. I'm not sure I want to live in that nation, but we'd have a lot of other problems. So yeah, I can't comment on that. But you can't tell other people what to do. That's stupid. Let people wear what they want to wear, do what they want to do. In the 80s, if you wanted to wear ripped jeans, wear them. You want to wear acid wash jeans, wear them. You want to color your hair, color it. You wanted to shave your head bald, do it. You want to put an earring in your nose, your ears, do it. You know, stop judging other people, leave other people alone. That's just dumb. There's no political correctness because there's nothing political anymore. robots and technology can take care of everybody, give everybody the resources they want. So stop being ignorant and commenting on your pumps or the color of your dress. That's just dumb. All right, Facebook's major defeat in Europe. That might be interesting. Mysterious space debris falls to Earth. Oh, that's totally interesting. Is this some of the Rockefellers and Rothschilds breakaway civilization?
Scientists, not long ago, an object came crashing to the Earth. It looked like a meteor, but it turns out it wasn't. So what could it be? Well, we sent out RT correspondent Natasha Sweet with all the details from LA.
Flaming objects descending from the sky fell onto a woman's property in southern Chile, creating several fires. But geologists say the objects didn't look natural and was not a meteor. So what was it? Well, Chile's National Service of Geology and Mining investigated 7 different points of the alleged impact. After surveying the area, officials said there was no evidence of space rock. But an outside Chilean astronomer and astrophysicist, Jose Mazza, says that he believes the object was space debris. Here you can see a tweet made by a local resident who indeed thought it was a meteor falling from the sky, but of course it wasn't. Geologists haven't officially disclosed what the fireballs contain. Some are questioning if bits of metal from the supposed space junk ignited the fire. And while likely scary for the residents who witnessed this phenomenon, it's extremely rare for something like space debris to cause damage on the ground. In fact, there are no reports of anyone being killed or even seriously injured by way of space junk. Geologists who conducted the initial investigation said they will release a more detailed analysis of the soil samples later this month.
Later this month, after the Rothschilds and Rockefellers give it to them and they determine if it's something special, a metal that we're not supposed to know about, which is why it's the only one that I guess stayed together and did any damage, hit the earth. If not, they'll just lie about it because we have a government, and that's what I would do. If I were in government, I would lie to you about everything that falls out of the breakaway civilization. Meanwhile, they're probably just playing a game of golf and somebody didn't hit a titanium golf ball off into space and it landed on Earth. Yeah. So once again, with all of that, I blame secrecy. You got secrecy, things are supposed to fall out the sky, they're supposed to kill people, they're supposed to infect the earth with radioactive things that they use to power these ships. You see UFOs flying around, we know that that's the real world. We just don't like to talk about it because it scares people. New film shows vicious power of the media. Oh, that might be interesting. Power of the media.
Now we go over to Hollywood, where actor
dummies.
and director Clint Eastwood has a new film. Now, this film is about the story of Richard Jewell, the security guard at the center of the 1996 bombings in Atlanta Centennial Park. Now, this happened during the Olympics, and the attack killed one, with another person having a heart attack and injuring more than 100 more. Jewell was initially hailed as a hero, but federal authorities quickly considered him a suspect, and there was this huge media storm surrounding his guilt or innocence. Let's take a look.
Did he do it?
Richard Jewell is an innocent man. He's a hero.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
One more time, just a little louder.
I report the facts.
You've ruined this man's life.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Wow, the real perpetrator was Eric Rudolph, a domestic terrorist who is now serving life in prison without parole. Now, Jewell was exonerated by an FBI investigation and filed a number of successful libel lawsuits afterwards. Now, this story is bringing back up controversy and what it means for police and the justice system, as well as the media, to handle such horrific events. So for more of this, we bring in investigative journalist Ben Swan. Thank you for joining me, Ben.
Scotty. All right, first, you don't have police. You have debt collectors for Rothschilds and Rockefellers based in unconstitutional legislation. I don't believe anything that the media says. I don't believe anything my government says, because it's not my government. It's owned by 100 families, and they lie to me. No good deed goes unpunished, so usually when they blame someone, it usually means they found something they weren't supposed to find, and they're tripping up the investigation. Everything's a false flag. Everything's used for disaster capitalism, and that's what false flag means anyway. You know, they either make up the whole thing, they exaggerate it, or they see it's about to happen, and they just put their hands back because they need fear in the populace. So I don't even remember this, to be honest with you, because I don't really pay attention. But I already don't believe what they're about to not say, something like that.
Thanks for having me on.
You know what, I didn't even know this movie was being produced. I saw the trailer this morning, I saw it trending, and I knew that I wanted to discuss it with you because But
I'm gonna be fair. How will I trust government when they don't lie? How about that? I don't trust people who lie. I don't trust people who have information that they keep from me. If you are honest if you are open source and you say that you're here for me, then we shouldn't be deceitful. Like, I'm not allowed to keep secrets from government keeps secrets from me. So if you want me to trust government, you want me to like look at the media so we can have a discussion about like stuff like this, then you need your government to not have secrets. Everybody keeping secrets from me, they're gonna lie to, right? Would you marry somebody keeping secrets? No, why? Because they're deceitful, they're up to something. Would you inflict a punishment on children and you know they're still lying about something? No, because they're still lying about something. There's something else to lie about, right? People who lie to you are trying to control you. They're not trying to govern you. They're not trying to help you. They're not on your side. Those who keep secrets from you are trying to abuse you. They already have a solution that they want to implement, so they're not giving you all the information, so you will come to their solution. It's a predetermined solution. So I don't believe anything that the government has to say, but I'll take a look at this.
We need a villain, especially today, but we need to make sure that the proper person is, that villainization is justified. Was there ever any accountability for those who were involved in this false demonization of Richard Jewell, besides just some libel lawsuits?
No, there really wasn't. And those libel lawsuits, ultimately NBC, CNN, a couple of networks made some undisclosed, we don't know what they were, payouts to Jewell. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which was one of the big newspaper here in Atlanta that really pushed this, actually never ended up paying anything. They fought him for 15 years and ultimately won because they said, hey, we just reported what police were saying, and it was true, what police were saying at the time. So they didn't push the theory. They say that he was responsible beyond what police said. Here's the problem, Scotty, and I think this goes into a much wider spectrum than just Richard Jewell, and that is that we have a media in this country. It happens every single day in this country, at local newsrooms especially, where people who are suspected of a crime, not even necessarily even charged, but suspected with of a crime, are dragged in front of an audience and media talks about them as if they are guilty. There are people who then become charged with a crime, and before their trial, media covers the story in a way that essentially kind of puts guilt on this person. And in many ways, I've complained about this for many years, media acts as an arm of law enforcement to try to kind of convict someone in the court of public opinion.
Of course, but let's be fair. Let's not blame the media completely, because the media is doing their job. They're giving people what they want to hear, right? And people prosecute based on what they see, right? So if you show like the Bundys as an example, I get in conversations about the Bundys and Lavoy Finicum and what was happening out there. See, if you've got this background where you're supposed to hate people with cowboy hats and white skin, and you're fighting white privilege and white supremacy, there's a lot of people fighting right there. There's a lot of people fighting the fuckers. You already agree that the FBI should swoop in and hurt, kill them, shot, they murdered Lavoy Finicum. You're already okay with that because you're a subhuman. You're not a humanitarian, you're being controlled. The media shows you what you want to see. And the same way around, the other side, they show you some poor kid, some poor Hispanic kid, or poor black kid who can't talk well, got sagging jeans. You already believe he's a criminal because he's got a tattoo on his neck. And the media shows you what you want to see, and then you take up the role as dummy, right? The media doesn't make you dumb. It's your choice to stay dumb. It's like talking about hate yesterday, right? If people hate you, then that was something from the past. Stop bringing up old stuff, right? If they still hate you, if they're still your enemy, it means that you're being complicit and you're playing into that hate, right? You're actively hating them back, and that creates that whole enemy thing. If you go love people, they can't hate you. You go love their kids, they can't hate you. So the media is not completely accountable, right? And for the most part, I pull media out a lot of the accountability because people tune into it, right? If you realize the media is lying to you, why do you tune into it? It's like we go to a party. Example, go to a party, Lion Lori. Let's say Lion Lori. We always go to the party. Lori, we invited her to every party because Lori's fun. Lori's interesting. Lori always got some great lies and stuff. We get drunk. We all like to listen to Lori just lie it up, right? Because it's fun. We all laugh. We have a great time. But it's not real. We know it's not real. So we invite Lion Lori to a party. And I don't know, let's say 9/11 happens. Let's say 9/11 happens. We tune into the TV and we listen to somebody telling us about what happened, and Lion Lori's got some input. Do you listen to Lion Lori? No, you don't. Or you have fun with Lion Lori. Lion Lori's a great person to have around because she's fun, she's boisterous, and she's funny, great comedian. She makes it all up. Nobody takes her seriously, right? If you have a media that lies all the time, It's fun to do this. This is what we do every morning. We get here, we laugh, and we joke about the lies that we know that they're giving us. They're only giving us partial information. They're giving it to us from a racial perspective, a political party perspective, a nation perspective, one of the subhuman grouping perspectives. And we just laugh at it because it's funny that anybody still believes this crap. We're having fun at a drunk caffeine party, but you don't trust it, right? When there's a real problem, when something real happens, when something that we really need to focus on, you stop listening to Lion Lori. Lion Lori, listen, we love Lion Lori. We love Lion Lori, but Lori, just kind of, sit over there and chill for a little bit. We got adult problems to fix. We need to listen to what actually happened and actually solve a problem, and then we'll go back to lying media. That's why the media lies. The media lies because people tune into it. When you stop tuning in, it goes away. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I think the numbers are down. If I'm not mistaken, because the alt media numbers are going up, and I believe the mainstream media numbers were going down. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers media, the 100 Families media, the billionaires media that tells you the problems in your world and who caused it. The media the billionaires own, right? So you can go off and vote for people who work for the billionaires to solve the problems that the billionaires created, because the billionaires don't like money and they're going to actually tell you what's true on their media, so you can go out there and fight them, because the billionaires are stupid, not geniuses.
Richard Jewell, they did that, and he was never even charged with the Atlanta Olympics bombing. He was merely a suspect for 88 days.
Well, and that's the thing. You're right. He was never even charged of it. He was completely demonized. And as this movie is pointing out, is that his whole family was, his world was wrecked. But I have to look, as you said, the bigger picture on this and the timing of this coming out, when it seems like so many have forgotten the fact that the media, the coordinated media, and those people who are supposed to work and protect America's like law enforcement can be corrupt and try to sell a narrative. So were you even surprised that this story is even being allowed to be told?
This is why I watch RT. This is why I watch. This is the only news I will watch. This is why I watch, because they say truthful things like that. Very truthful. The only thing that I'm gonna add to that is you got a damn propaganda act. You literally, not only do you have a government and media that lied to you, you have a government with media that wrote a law that told you, we are gonna lie to you. And we're going to take your tax dollars and you're going to be okay with it. And of course, people are going to get their stickers and lollipops to vote again. And so, of course, it's going to get worse. That's why I tell people it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, because we're not growing up. We're still in these subhuman groupings of human beings acting wild and not being humanitarians and trusting lies.
Hold at this point, even more importantly, released and getting as much attention as it is?
Yeah, I am kind of surprised that it's coming out. I'm very glad that it is, but it's such an important story, because I think it speaks to this concept of media narrative, right? The narrative around Richard Jewell was, here's this guy who is a loner. Here, let's just be very politically incorrect here. He was a loner. He was a fat white guy who lived on his own, carried around guns and lived.
And they show this picture. Of course he's a domestic terrorist. Why? Because that's what they say they look like. Let me see. The only other thing that could make him worse is he'd be a veteran. And that means he has to be a domestic terrorist. Why? Because we have narratives we float around. Because only terrorists are in America, are white guys. And people, they jump off on their popular racism, and it's just ridiculous. That dude looks like a dude that you work with, I know. I mean, we're grown. We should be grown folks, right? We should be. That looks like your neighbor. Come on, that's a guy. It's a guy, because he drinks beer and he has is that a camouflage shirt? Doesn't mean he's got a bunker and guns at home. And if he has a bunker and guns at home, it just means that he's a person who actually studies history and knows what your government's about.
In the North Georgia mountains. And the media, originally he was the hero, was so excited at the idea that, no, maybe he's not the hero. Maybe the hero's actually the villain. And so this narrative immediately switched to something else. This guy, it was this strange loner loser who lives in the mountains, and we've got him. And if you...
How about we just don't know? How about the media's always lying? Not that Lori's a lion, love Lori to death. No, but now how about the media's always lying Lori at the party. This is a Rockefeller's party. They want everybody drunk and stupid, and they're lying about everything in the media that we have no idea. They could use him as a narrative of a narrative of a narrative, a controlled opposition of opposition. Like, there are so many layers to the matrices and so many layers of profit and disaster capitalists lying to people. We don't ever know. We don't ever know anything. That's why I just sit back and watch. That's why I'm not, do you believe, right, exactly, Hollins, do you believe me or your lying eyes? That's it. And this is why I like Saj Guru, Hollins. I like Saj Guru, and I like these gurus who like get us to explore self and the mind. What is the mind? The mind isn't yourself. The mind is this indoctrinated monster that they inject all their isms into to create you into labels and identities and isms and fears and whatever, to form you into a clone of a creature so that when you see this on television, you will respond a certain way. It's what's called the Matrix. It's just the Matrix. And when you really get that we are really that highly controlled to have these mind things that completely are probably the opposite or nowhere close to what our true self is, then you don't get excited. And so I don't get excited about it. I don't know if he did it or didn't do it. I just know this: if he did or didn't do it, they're not gonna tell me the truth. I don't have $100 billion in the bank. I'm not in the big club. They're not gonna tell me the truth. They're always gonna tell me what sells their papers, gets me to tune in, or hides the people who actually do this stuff. Right? Because the people who actually do this stuff, for the most part, are with the government. The government already knows about them. They don't want you to know about it. It's not even the government even knows them. I think half the time they know who's going to do a crime, then they just ignore it. They ignore it. They don't want you to know that they know that it was him, and so they won't let the actual him come out. They'll blame a patsy, and it'll be a guy who saw a gun or bag or something somewhere and try to call in something which kind of sounds like that is. All right.
Look at the way that he was covered. I mean, the kinds of headlines that were written about him, the things that were said about him were incredibly vicious in the way that he was treated by media. Again, this was a man who was never even charged. So the fact that the story is being told now, I think it should speak very loudly to the state that we're in right now with media, where there's still, Scotty, as you know, a whole lot of media narrative that's being fit that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with truth. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with facts, but it fits the story media wants to tell, and so they tell it.
And I think it's because of Clint Eastwood being such a classical figure that has so much respect that he's probably one of the only people that...
That sounds good. We should watch that movie. So it doesn't have to be true. It just has to be believable, right? It just has to be dramatic, right? That's all it's got to be, and it's good to go. So it just has to be Dallas and Falcon Crest. It just has to get people to tune back in. It has to be guiding light. It has to be Young and the Restless. All right, is there anything else important in here? Anybody see anything else? Snowden calls on media on double standard. Well, yeah, do they have I don't know if it's a double standard. They're just highly controlled. 90% of they're owned by the same corporations and billionaires that have a model of making money and keeping the general populace oblivious to the fact that they're breakaway civilizations and technology we don't know about. College football player arrest video. Where I'm from, we shoot. Whoa, yeah, what? Where I'm from, we shoot. Y'all shoot cops. That's a real bad idea. That's not good for your diet. Wait, I'm gonna watch this one. Hold on. What? You did what?
There has been a lot of controversy lately about student athletes in college, how they act, how they got in, and if it's right.
And why would they shoot? Oh, okay. I think I know what it is. Why would you shoot your cousins because they have a badge? And for the badge people, why would you shoot your cousins because they're poor and they didn't have any food and they're trying to survive? Why? Because the politicians that everybody votes for on both political parties have bumper stickers on the back of their car and magnets on their refrigerators because they write the laws because that's how you make money. Fear.
Well, there's a controversy that is stirring. Happened a while ago, but the videotape is being released at my old place, the University of Tennessee, but it's bringing up a conversation across the country. Do student athletes get more preferential treatment when a crime is committed versus just regular athletes? And how far should a coach go? I bring it.
Or do the people with the most jewels never have to pay a price for a crime because we're not even involved in the International Criminal Court? This might be interesting from an analogy perspective, right? Like always think about things in the multiple levels and how this society works, because there's always enough information that we could blow it up to the higher level. If you're popular, can you do a crime? Right? If you're popular enough, can you do a crime? Like it boggles my mind how the Clintons is they still bopping around. They're still bopping around. They're chilling. They have no problem. Nobody's after them. They're probably on the beach somewhere drinking Mai Tais or whatever. Nobody's after them. You got Martin Luther King's killer's still running around. He's chilling. Martin Luther King killer. Is he still a mechanic in Alabama? Is it Alabama? Or he retired by now? He retired. Somebody's like, what are you talking about? James Earl Ray shot King. No, come on, wake up. You need to pay attention. Pay attention, do your research. The man that killed Martin Luther King still running free. The people who paid for 9/11, organized it, put it together, they're still in Dubai somewhere, right? They're still probably in Egypt. Most of them still in Washington, which is why LBJ did what he did with the USS Liberty. The people who killed all the soldiers on the USS Liberty, all the NSA and Navy, they're still in Washington. They all got jobs. The war criminals, they get great funerals. So yeah, so do they let athletes out of certain crimes? Hell yeah, they do, because they're popular in those communities. So if it works that way on a national level, if the laws don't apply to those who are popular on a national level, then of course it works that way on a local level. Why? Because we're broken. We are a broken species.
And RT Sports correspondent Steve Christoggers. Okay, what's the story?
Well, this involves the University of Tennessee, the football team, and one football player named Jeremy Banks. He's a linebacker / running back for the school. Now, back.
All right, so I heard a few key things. He's a linebacker, but the key thing in that to me, he's a student. All right. Now, mind you, some students are over 26. Some students that need a little more time to studify. Some of them just, the studification doesn't stink in by the time you're 21. So odds are he's under 26. If he's under 26, what does that mean, class? Everybody who believes in neuroscientists and behavioral scientists, people who actually go to school and study these things and have MRI machines and realize that human beings don't have developed frontal lobes till they're 26, so you aren't responsible for human decisions. You literally cannot make decisions as a human. You can't take in universal information and make a good decision. So in my book, what that says to me is, if you're not even a human being yet, you don't even have a brain of a human being yet, there is no way on this planet you can be subject to human laws. That's what I believe. I believe it's tyranny and genetic racism. It's using human DNA against itself to take a child and make it responsible for laws made by humans, and it's not even a human yet. That's the worst force of real racism and DNAism ever.
On September 15th, he made an illegal U-turn. He got pulled over, and they found a warrant for his arrest due to a suspended driver's license. So he was.
Oh man, I heard everything already. I keep stopping, tying here to fuss about it, but I heard everything. Number one, you don't need driver's licenses to drive on the roads. That's stupid. It's unconstitutional, and licensing shouldn't even exist for driving a damn car. It's like driving a horse, driving a carriage. But all this is about control of the population, right? If you can force them to, what is that called? Manufacture consent to control in order to drive a motor vehicle and not a horse-driven carriage, then you control the population. And everything in government is about securing power, right? So walking forward, not even getting into admiralty law in 1913 and how they suspended the Constitution, but walking people to where you want them to be by slowly increasing your power. We don't have any great demons, not in my view. You just have systems that are just completely out of control, and now you're seeing their purpose. Government's design is to take more power, and it takes more power. So one, they shouldn't be police on the streets to begin with. That's number one. When people have food, water, houses, you don't need people with guns to chase them down. Two, U-turn, you can have some rules for driving. But if you abuse the rule, you have cameras that take pictures of it. Take a picture and mail it. I don't believe in using people, even if you're dumb enough to have a socially unengineered society that keeps human beings in conflict with each other because you like money and retirement and government. You can use technology to take pictures of things like that. If somebody's speeding, if somebody doesn't stop at a stop sign, you don't be dumb and take a human being, a resource that technology is outdated, this idea of traffic stopping. Right? You don't be stupid and still use people with guns to do that. That's dumb. So I'm not even sure what happened here, but I already know it's just ignorance upon ignorance, ignorant. But,
He wasn't drinking, he wasn't doing drugs, there was no violence involved, but they did have to place him in the back of the squad car and take him in as there was the warrant for the suspended license. Now, the head coach, Jeremy Pruitt, thought they had taken care of this mess, this situation together and paid this ticket and paid the fine and got his license back up to par, but apparently they didn't. So they brought him in. He actually called his coach, Jeremy Pruitt,
while
during
they're on the side. He called the head coach
Yes.
of the University of Tennessee On the campus.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he was cooperative throughout most of the situation until he did get a little frustrated towards the end and used some expletives. And actually, I guess the concerning statement came when he told an intern who was doing a ride along, or a civilian who was in the car, a female civilian in the car, that he said, "Where I'm from, quote, where I'm from, we shoot cops." And of course, that was a statement that he does regret saying, obviously, and the coach.
But he doesn't have a frontal lobe. This is the reverse of what we just showed, right? They show the other guy, fat white guy, camouflage, must be a bad guy. Lives in the mountains, obviously must be a bad guy. So they show the picture of this guy. It looks like he had dreadlocks, dark skin, says he shoots cops, he must be a bad guy. People choose sides because of their bigotries and their subhuman grouping, and their minds drive their lives, not themselves. They're silly and ignorant. Once again, I don't blame children for anything. And if you raise children in a time of hatred, where the adults hate them and are indifferent and apathetic enough to them to let them grow up and show them that the only way to survive in their world is by gun, because the adults all vote for militaries to bomb and blow up other countries, then the kids are going to be violent, and they're going to say violent things like that. I don't blame him at all for saying that. Did he do it? Is this Minority Report? Did he actually do it? Did he shoot somebody? No, he did not. Probably didn't even own a gun. So why does anybody care? Because you're stupid. That's why you care. You're controlled. You're highly driven by kings building full of dummies, kingdoms. But you know what? And this is why I appreciate Ivana. Ivana disagrees. Go on, Ivana. What you disagree with? That's why I appreciate people disagree. It's okay to disagree with me, y'all. Y'all disagree. That's how we learn. You need a driver's license. People who don't know how to drive have no place on the street endangering other drivers. Well, I would agree, Ivana, except for the fact that we had motor carriages and horses, and we didn't have horse licenses. We didn't have motor carriage licenses, and everything went pretty good back then. You had the old West movies when the people they kind of going through the center of the town. Nobody had licenses then. Licenses are just about control. They give us these concepts to control us, right? We don't actually need driver's licenses. The same way, do you need a walker's license in New York City? Somebody answer that question. You ever go to New York City? Now, don't get me wrong. I think New Yorkers need a New York walker's license. I do, because I can't walk there. I have a slow pace in life. Okay? I like to smell the flies. Okay? And you get to New York City, I'm in the subway, like, what the hell, people? I'm like, got luggage, going somewhere, and people just running all around me, cutting me off and everything. And I'm hitting my horn because I ain't got a horn because I'm walking. But it works out. I didn't see anybody in New York bumped into each other. The only people who bumped into each other was me, because I wasn't up to pace. In New York City, they don't care about you, boy. They don't even care. Little women just pushing me over. They don't even care, just elbowing me, get out the way because I'm going too slow. Nobody cares there. I'm like the old country guy just bumping around. But you don't need a walker's license. So I don't think you need a driver's license. That's what I think. I think about everything from a why did they actually do a perspective. Does my government want me to be safe on the highways? No, they don't. They don't care. They literally don't care if I'm safe on the highways. They just want to control the population. All right, I'm done with that. All right. Well, we'll look at the rest of it.
Has said that as well, that doesn't represent what they're all about. And Jeremy Banks did come out with an apology saying, "I want to sincerely apologize to my family, the University of Tennessee, the law enforcement community. I deeply regret my language and attitude in the video. I have great respect for our policemen and women, and I am embarrassed by my actions that night." That's not...
I disagree. He should not have apologized. I disagree. I disagree with the apology. I disagree. It's not his fault. We did it. We did it. We caused it. We, including me, you, the police, everybody. We're the adults. We keep voting for a government that raises children in artificial scarcity and planned obsolescence, and they take on the violent concepts we have. I'm not going to ask a child to apologize for doing what I see in politics all day. What did he say that you don't say, that your political party doesn't say? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Don't make me go to I didn't watch it, but the whole Donald Trump said explicit things. I bet you it has something to do with another nation. And where Americans from, we shoot nations. Then we just go through this, and the Democrats and Republicans completely don't disagree on blowing up nations full of children. They don't care, because where they're from, they blow up Venezuelans. Where they're from, they blow up Colombians. That's a horrible voice. I don't even know why I did that. It just kind of happened. But did he say anything different than these monsters do? Did he say anything different? Court, I'm asking you, jury, did he say anything different than you hear all day on the news. What nation we're gonna blow up, who we're gonna bomb, who we're gonna destroy. Because that's who we are. Did he say anything different? Did we not just hear that we literally send weapons to starve children in a genocide and Holocaust in Yemen because it gives us jobs? Did we not just hear that? So what did he say that he needs to apologize for? Is the federal government apologizing? Or are the Democrats apologizing? The DNC? The GOP? The Republicans? Anybody apologize? I don't see no apologizing for them. So why should he have to apologize because he has less jewels than them? They threaten people all day. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He's just talking. They do it all day. How many bombs a day do we drop? 200? We bomb children all damn day. And ain't no damn apology. All we do is pull ourselves out of the International Criminal Court. See, this is my core level of disagreement, is that when you have people who have more jewels and we think they're better, we're okay with when they do it. But we're not okay when poor people does it. I can't watch the rest of this because you know me, I'm gonna get upset. I just don't like it. I hate it when adults, they subject kids to this some sort of tyranny and try to convince them there's something wrong with them. Ain't nothing wrong with these kids, something wrong with us. Ain't nothing wrong with none of them. None of them. Like I said, I'm all behind all the kids in the skinhead and the Klan and the gangs and all of that. I get all of them. I understand. They all make damn sense. They all make sense. They didn't have a choice. We got choices. We can grow the hell up. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I like to think about things from all perspectives. And this was my whole point, is that when you think about things from everybody's perspective, when you're all sensing, and I'm not all sensing, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to listen to more people and what they've been through. And when you listen to all sensing, and you don't just listen to the elite class, you don't just listen to the political class, you don't just listen to the upper class and just the middle, you listen to everybody. And then things start to make sense. You don't just listen to the politicians, but you listen to the behavioral scientists, the psychologists, the neuroscientists, the people who go to school and study these things and have been doing these things for decades. When you listen to everybody, then you can make solutions that actually solve something. But you know, this guy, this is all about he's poor. That's all it is. He just doesn't have jewels. He doesn't have enough popularity. And people turn on him like they turn on the other guy, right? They turn on him because they didn't like his skin. They turn on this one because they don't like his skin. And we got to stop being subhuman. We got to stop being subhuman and stop embracing the kings that are being kingdoms. We got to stop being dumb. We got to stop being dummies and letting them build kingdoms on our foolishness. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't blame kids for anything. Never, not me. Never me. You ain't never gonna give me to blame a child for nothing. Is that Chris Lewis? You have to listen to the bad people as well. That's right, Chris, because there are no bad people. There are no bad people. All you have are people. You have good and bad things, right? Things people do are good and bad, but not people, you know? And when you create good environments, you create better people, right? People oscillate between doing good and bad things. And the better the environment you create, the more they oscillate in the good. You know what I mean? We raise kids to be drug dealers. We starve them into violent crime. We starve them into gangs. We starve them into white nationalism. We starve them into these things. They look at us and they see us cheering when the leaders do it. It's funny when the leaders do it. It's funny when the president tweets about it. It's funny when we threaten other nations, and bipartisan, they're all okay with murder, devastation, destruction, blowing things up and starving children. But when one of our starving children does something, then it's bad. And I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to blame them. I believe in universal sensing. I want to sense what the kids are doing. I want to sense what's going on in the white community, sense what's going on in the black community, sense what's going on in the purple community, sense what's going in all these communities. And when you start to sense it, then you start to read, you start to live a boundless life, right? You have no boundaries. Your solutions can be boundless. You start to see the real picture, not the driven picture. You start to see beyond the matrix. You start to have no boundaries. Your mind, your solutions, your decisions, your intellect doesn't have any boundaries. You start getting out of that controlled mind and you start becoming yourself. You can become a humanitarian instead of humanitarian-ish. All right, that was a good one. It's Friday, y'all. Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday! What y'all doing this weekend? Anybody going out? Y'all can go live free? You better not live free. Y'all should watch The Outside. That's a great show. I'm telling you, I think only Susan and I watch it. Y'all should watch The Outside. It's a great show. So I don't watch no show about hillbillies. You can learn a lot. if the hillbillies, I got a lot of hillbilly friends, if they sat right here and they watched the Black Summit yesterday with us, then you can watch Outsiders with them. All right, it's about living free. Great TV show. Great TV show. I am down with the pharaohs. Get ya! Why? Because they're my cousins. I'm down with all of them. And when people live free, whether that be in a city, a ghetto, a barrio, a trailer park, when people live free, we use robot supremacy to make sure everybody has what they have. People start to oscillate more in the good. They become pleasant. When you raise pleasant children, they become pleasant adults. We build a pleasant society. Until then, we live in this conflict society. It's a happy Friday. Yeah, every day is Friday. I like Happy Friday though because it reminds us that we're slaves. That's why I love Friday. Friday is my favorite day of the week. I think my second favorite day is Monday. It's a reminder that we're slaves. As long as people know we're slaves, then we know what we got to do. If they think they're free, then we I know we're slaves. It's right here. Look at this. You think that's all the comments on YouTube? No, that ain't all the comments on YouTube. We're being blocked on YouTube. That's how we know we're not free. The Outsiders, is that what it's called? What network? It is. I think it's called The Outsiders. If somebody wakes Susan up and asks her, I think it's called The Outsiders. One of the lead characters, Asa Farrell. Get ya! You should watch it. You should really watch it. It was a great show. I loved it. All kind of love and violence, working together, and friendliness and opposition and control, police forces, and it was a great thing. Good police forces and good police and bad police and people who want to be free and people happy slaves. It was a great show. It was only 2 seasons. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. I don't think it's not on Netflix because I didn't have Hulu supremacy, but I was on Netflix and I couldn't see. I started watching it, I couldn't finish it because I only had Netflix. Now I have Hulu. By the way, Hulu is free if you have Sprint, and Sprint's destroying the planet. But that's it is. You can use your smartphone in these massive corporations that are destroying everything to do some good, and that would be a good thing. You should watch The Outsiders. I'm gonna make some references to it, and you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. How do I know? Because I posted Get Ya yesterday, and only Susan liked. Get Ya. People like, the hell is he talking about? I have no idea what he's talking. You're gonna understand. You're gonna watch it when you're done. You're gonna have kids in the ghetto screaming Get Ya, and then we're gonna break down the matrix. That's how it's gonna work. Look at other people, look at where they're from. But I think everybody believes in freedom. They just don't know they believe in freedom. And I think when everybody has a taste of freedom, they'll never go back. Because it only takes one generation to break a people. If in one generation you can disconnect them from the mountain that they live on, they live sustainable, the country that they live in, and you give them a debt-based currency system and make them all slaves, after you break them, that to them, slavery is good, delicious, and nutritious. They don't want to get rid of their debt-based system. Sometimes the answer is to say hell no. Lori, I think most times the answer is to say hell no. I think the older I get, the more I say hell no. You got to say hell no to systems. Anytime someone tries to get you to turn on one of your cousins, one of your 7 billion cousins, you just got to say hell no. Let me see. Golf tournament tomorrow for me. Will take one day off from picking cotton. That's right. You got to make it sustainable, Ivana. You got to go play golf. You got to get outside, get that fresh air, get that sun, and come back to it on Monday. Don't worry, the world ain't gonna be fixed by Monday. It'll still be jacked up. It'll still be jacked up as it is today on Monday. So you enjoy your life. Don't feel bad about it. Sometimes I feel bad about it because I think about some of the kids in some of the worst conditions around the planet. If you got to make your struggle for the human race sustainable. You got to have some joys. You have to take in the pleasure you can so you don't fall back into tribalism. You got to take in the joys and pleasures you can to make Monday work. If Monday doesn't work for you, you can go out and get your Prozac and your Xylipro, Xanax, and you're going to drug yourself back into supporting the pharmaceutical industry and the all the lies. So you got to make it sustainable. What day it is? That's how you know somebody's living good. That's Daniel. He's out there. He's smoking. That's why. He doesn't know what day it is. When we don't know what day it is and we don't know what time it is, that's when we're free. Think about it like think about this. When you don't know what day and time is, you're living your own life. But as long as you know what time it is, it means someone else is timing you. They are counting your cotton bag, and there are times of the day that you must do things. The only time of day we should know is it's dark out, means things out there trying to eat us. It's getting dark, which means the things that want to eat is about to come out, like mosquitoes, and it's light. We can take in the D3 solar radiation. Anyway, this is Dry Egg going. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all to death. Enjoy your weekend. I am out. Bye. Bye.